What's good, y'all? This is RGB Fox, and here we have myself on the right playing K9 Vanquish Soul versus homie on the left playing Melodious, and he won the dice roll, so he ends up, starting. Now, I believe this one that he normal summons is Mozartza, and on that, I go immediately on the defensive and drop a shifter. Am I, bad guy because of it? Well, yes and no. After all, yeah, you gotta play with like everything, right? That's available to you. And in Vanquish Soul, you kind of had to go ahead and play the shifter in the main deck. It's unfortunate, but hey, when you have it, you have it. So here he's going to go ahead and commit the Soprano. That's the name of this one. Plus, I don't think many people actually play this one in the Melodious deck. So I don't know the actual name, but he ends up, I believe, fusion summoning, utilizing the Elegy as well. Or no, he link summoned, right? Yeah, he link summoned into the Bloom, and then Bloom discarded the monster I just stated to summon out the two pendulum monsters of the deck, Refrain, and I believe the other one is, no, this one's not Couplet. He searched Couplet just now. What's the other one's name? Well, it'll take me a little while to learn all the names, but do bear with me. Anyways, here we're going to see him think about what he wants to do next. I couldn't tell you any Melodious lines, right? Like, the worst part about Melodious in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the fact that when it came out, I believe Snake Eyes was already the best deck of the format, and Melodious could hardly compete, right? So, yeah, he kind of has to work with what he's got here. I think he's playing like a pure build, of course, with like the Herald of the Orange Light, because if you guys saw, he was in a video of mine just a few weeks ago. So anyways, the Couplet goes ahead and adds, I believe, the Concerto, and this is of course the Poly for the deck, the searchable one. Looks like he also has Droll in hand. Unfortunately, it's dead under Shifter, because with Droll you have to be able to send it to the graveyard in order to go ahead and stop me from searching. So here, Concerto is going to go ahead and fusion summon. This is going to use Couplet plus, if I can find the name of the pendulum that was on the field, in order to make, not Etoile, I think this one's, no, this one's not Schuberta. Wow. Oh, no, duh, this one's Baka. This is the main one. This one on summon gets to summon a Melodious from the deck, which is going to summon the Arya. Arya is annoying as well. I only played against the deck once, and like I said, it wasn't actually in, it was in Snake Eye format, and then it was also in Ryzeal format in Master Duel, where they had Arya plus the other Melodious monster that protects from card effects, and I just couldn't out it. I had like full Ryzeal board, but when they had these two on board, I couldn't do nothing, and I couldn't get access to Zeus because they would like use Etoile to banish my, attacking Xyz monster. So yeah, overall, the end board is nothing too crazy. He has can't be targeted by card effects, can't be destroyed by battle. He has Baka, which prevents fusion monsters' effects from being negated. And if it leaves the field, no, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Melodious in the grave to special, but that does nothing here. So yeah. Here, I do open up Stake Your Soul. I reveal Jiaolong here. He's not very familiar with Vanquish Soul, which is why I'm taking it a bit slower on him and telling him every single effect here. And so I go ahead and summon Raisin right under the Bloom and Arya column, because once I search, I want to be able to blow up the field, or at least the two monsters that are right there. Here, though, he, in response of me adding the Holisu, is wondering if he can Droll. I just tell him straight up he cannot, but he can always, of course, check with a judge. And that's really good for me, because it allows me to continue playing with my case of K9. And so now that I have a Dark, I can go ahead and activate the Raisin effect, revealing the Jiaolong plus the Jokul in order to go ahead and blow up every other monster that is in the same column as Raisin. Here, he's like, oh, that does that? And, I do, of course, confirm. And anytime I get questions about the cards, I always let my opponents just like, you know, read it, pick it up and everything. So yeah, from here, he's going to go ahead and chain Super Poly. Super Poly does not have to send the card from hand to the graveyard. You just have to discard it. So he's getting at least value for the card that he set. And he's going to fusion off the Bloom, the Arya, and I believe the other one was the big body Pendulum Monster, which was Refrain. No, it was Shapina. There we go. And that goes ahead and makes the Etoile. Etoile actually can be used in the Undershifter because it banishes the monster temporarily to, you know, bounce the monsters on the field from the opponent's side. Here I'm reading it because, again, I am super unfamiliar with what the deck is supposed to do. I think it also has an additional effect where if it leaves the field, you can special summon the Melodious from deck or extra deck, which could potentially come up, but I don't think so. Anyways, from here, I go ahead and reveal Holly Sue to summon herself by revealing the Jiaolong, and then I'm going to go ahead and utilize her effect to special summon from the deck a Vanquish Soul monster, and I think my choice here is going to be Mad Love. And it will be. I'm going to summon Mad Love, not under these two monsters column. Not that it matters, but, you know, I just don't want them to be under there. And now that I have the Mad Love here, I can potentially bounce this Etoile. Etoile ends up actually having 1800 attack, and here I do have Izuna plus the Jokul, so I reveal that to bounce the monster on the field with the lowest defense. It is tied with the Raisin, so I get to choose here. So, of course, that's going to be the Etoile. He ends up chaining? No. Oh yeah, there's actually a few things here. I let him take it back for him, like, you know, wanting to do certain effects because ultimately I want him to actually learn the deck a bit better and make more optimal plays. And of course that gives me better testing of my opponent's activate effects that could be relevant, right? So I think we got a judge call. I'll skip ahead here. And so here, instead, he ends up deciding to actually use the Etoile effect to go ahead and banish, because what he thought he could do is, since it leaves the field, he thought he could activate the effect to summon from the deck. But if you guys know, the Master Rule revision in 2020 stopped effects like Mirror Jade, Absolute Zero, etc. From being able to be activated when they get bounced back to the extra deck, right? So now that he confirms that, I'm like, if you want to, you know, take that back and, you know, do your other play instead to like bounce my cards, you are more than welcome to. You know, I'm not here to shark. If you genuinely want to have a better play in mind now that you have that knowledge, feel free, because that's what local should be. It should allow you to get the best testing possible. Plus, I know him a little bit. I met him at a regional when I was judging and answered one of his rulings. Unfortunately, he had to get a double match loss, and then yeah, just like that, he, whilst frustrated, understood, and, you know, was a good sport about it. So I have nothing but respect for him because he doesn't take things too serious. So rambling aside, he does decide to chain the Etoile here, I believe, which is going to allow him to return 2 monsters since he's going to banish 2 fusions, right? We're just going to wait and see here. Now, he ends up realizing that I likely have game, and I do. I have Jokul plus Izuna, so we're moving on to game number 2. Alright, here we are in game number 2. Now, you can only imagine who would go first, except it's not me. He actually makes me go first, and I have to play into a Purulia here, which caught me off guard, and it really sucks because I did side out. I believe the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil, I think I kept in start, so I go ahead and I'm like, well, you know, I'm gonna try to play into the Purulia as best as I can. He's reading, of course, to see if he gets a draw, but unfortunately the answer is no, because I summoned this one from the deck. And so Raisin's going to go ahead and provide me the whole shebang yet again. If I have Izuna in hand, that could also be really good for me, because I can at the very least set up a small infield and then just continue playing on his turn, which is really beneficial. That's what I really like about Vanquish Soul, is that you don't have little options whenever you go for your plays, right? Like you end up having very good minimal end boards so that you can play around cards like Perulia Fualos and then continue playing on the opponent's turn, right? So that's why I love this deck to death. It's just a really good one. Now from here, I do go ahead and activate the Izuna to special. On resolution, he gets a draw, and then I go ahead and activate the effect on summon to dump the Lupus. From here, I'll go ahead and activate the Lupus effect to go ahead and special summon itself from the graveyard, giving me a, you know, monster negate for like a potential nib, what have you. And then I go ahead and overlay here for the Ripper. And then my game plan is essentially to go ahead and grab me a Dark, because I think I grabbed Holisu from the deck, if I remember correctly. So that's the only attribute I'm essentially missing. From here, I detach the Ripper, or the Izuna I should say, to go ahead and search for a K9 card. Which one will it be? It will be Jokul. I don't think I committed to the Jokul though, because if I do, I give him another draw. However, if I have Holisu and then I get a search off of the Jokul, it does make my my end board a bit better. It gives him one less draw, right? So yeah, no, this works out. Instead of summoning the Holisu just by itself, I do go for the Jokul. So I reveal, and then I summon both out onto the field. From here, yes, he does get one draw. And then I'm going to go ahead and activate the effect of Jokul to go ahead and search for a K9 monster. This one is going to be the Lantern, of course. You know, I'm fine with going for as many draws as possible. Here you can see he also had Droll, but I think he wanted to see if I would like give him any more draws. But with Holisu on the field, there is no real justification for it. So here I reveal Lantern plus a Raisin. If I didn't have, what's his name, if I wasn't the Perulia, I could have also summoned the Jiaolong, gotten another search off of the double Raisin, right? But it's okay. So here, I do go ahead and summon out the Heavy Burger. Should I have? It honestly doesn't really matter, because at this point, I am going to be done here. So he decides to tap. I draw here. And then I think from here, I link off into Rock using the Raisin. And then I overlay into the Nash Knight. No, looks like the sequence is in the reverse order. So I first go for the Nash Knight, then I go for the effect to go ahead and attach a number monster from the extra deck from 101 to 107, which y'all know. It's going to be 104. And we'll just speed up the process here. Now with the 104 on the field, I think this is the best time for me to go Rock so that I can grab the Holisu from the graveyard. I already have a Dark, I already have a Fire in the hand, and I'm assuming that I had a Izuna. No, I don't. It's in the graveyard, but that's fine. This is my Earth here, and then from that point on, I just go ahead and pass. And yeah, so the reason why it's taking a while, he's just asking me what kind of interruptions I have on the field. So we'll again speed up here. So now that it is his turn once again, he's going to go ahead and start with the Ostinato. I believe Ostinato is similar to their Branded Fusion, right? Like that's their own version. Or it's a Searcher. I honestly couldn't tell you. I just know that this card became expensive at one point once they revealed support for the deck. So he goes ahead and goes through, dumps a copy of, I believe that is Refrain, plus another Melodious monster, I think to go ahead and make Baka. Baka more than likely makes the most sense, right? Okay, so it looks like he sent Arya so that he can go ahead and summon from the deck. So again, he is asking if, you know, what kind of interruptions I have. And because he summoned the Baka, the activated effects of his Melodious monsters cannot be negated. So he does Chainlink 1. I read it really quick, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't think I should use my Masquerade on this. I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, wait for the current moment. And then after I read and deny the response, he goes ahead and activates Super Poly, because funny enough, I do have 2 dark monsters on the field. Yeah, Super Poly honestly a card that's not very good against Vanquish Soul until it is. So I lose a monster negate, a hand rip, and burn damage all in one turn, as well as a draw card. Maybe I should have activated Burger earlier, but I think I'm fine. So yeah, now he goes ahead and summons Mud Dragon, and then he resolves Baka here. And we're just fixing our zones here, of course. So I'm reading the Mud Dragon really quick. Couldn't quite tell you why, but at this point, he goes ahead and summons the Refrain, and if it's normal or special summon, he can add a Melodious monster from deck to the hand except for itself. So he's going to go ahead and search here. That, again, is going to add him the... Is that Couplet? Yeah, that's Couplet. If it's added to the hand except by drawing, then you can go ahead and reveal it to special summon. I feel like ever since Poplar came out, they just kept giving more and more cards that type of effect. But yeah, I negate it with Ripper. And at this point, since he activated a monster effect in hand, my Lupus is alive. So here, now he goes ahead and scales the Couplet into one of the Pendulum Zones to go ahead and search for a Melodious spell or trap, which is going to be the Concerto. And then, if I'm correct, I think he's going to go ahead and Fusion Summon here using the Couplet and Refrain. But we'll go ahead and determine that here shortly. Looks like that's his plan. Also, fun fact, his shirt stands for Dark Armed Dragon. Just in case y'all didn't know. It actually doesn't, but I decided to make that joke on him the other day, and he seemed to laugh at it, so hey, I'll take it. Now he's looking at his graveyard. I mean, I don't know what more the cards do in the grave, so... Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like he's going to Pendulum Summon here after scaling the Refrain in his hand. Damn, 3 Refrains all at once, huh? So, looks like he's still asking about what kind of potential interruptions I have. Does that have an effect on the Pendulum Scale? Oh, okay. Dumps 1 to increase the attack of a monster that it targeted by 200 times its level, I think. That sent one of the... I think it was the one that defends from destruction of card effects. I think it was Sonata. Okay. Now, from here, I believe, again, he Pendulum Summons, but I couldn't quite say. This is taking a little bit of time here. This is, I guess, a good time for me to think about, like, cool Pendulum cards that they can create in the future, like Pendulum Summoning from the grave. That would be kind of nasty. Anyways, now we see the Concerto be activated, and he's going to go ahead and Fusion Summon with the Baka and both of the Pendulum Scales to make the Etoile. And I learned a new ruling today. So these monsters, Refrain and Couplet, get an effect that says if they are sent to the let me read it. Hold on. If a Melodious Fusion monster is special summoned to your field while this card is face up in your extra deck, you can place this card into your Pendulum Zone, and that is the same for both Refrain and for Couplet. Which is interesting because you figure maybe it needs to be in the extra deck prior to like a fusion summoning like resolving, but no, as long as they're sent there and the monster gets summoned after through like an effect like Poly or Melodious Concerto, it will trigger. So we'll go ahead and skip ahead here. Yeah, both scales are back in place. Now he's going to go ahead and summon out the Aria from the graveyard, and I think at this point he might be Pendulum or Link summoning here. Nope, it will be a Pendulum summon. Is it a Pendulum summon? I know both of these effects, these monsters here can just summon themselves, or you control a, Melodious. But yeah, now here I'm just contemplating what I want to do. I think long and hard, but I'm going to go Nib Chainlink 1, Rock Chainlink 2 to go ahead and add back a monster from the grave back to the hand, which should be the Heavy Burger. Because again, I already got Double Fire in hand, so might as well get some more darks here. He's looking through his grave, but he does not have a response aside from the Melodious Flowering Etoile, which could banish, these monsters here. aside from itself, and then like send everything to the graveyard. Him doing this, of course, so that he can go ahead and get the effect of Etwal to summon, right? So yeah, he's just going to go ahead and banish all 4 of these, and then maybe bounce my Rock and my Ripper, or he could just let it go, right? I don't think it has to banish. Let's see. You can banish, then you can, yeah, so he doesn't have to return any of my bodies. So yeah, add back Burger to resolve, and then all these monsters are going to go to the graveyard unless he decides to actually bounce them, and then he does. Okay, cool. Free resources, let's go. Now he loses his monster, and I summon a token onto the middle zone, just in case he's playing, what's that deck called? Elf Note, right? You always want to play around it if possible, just saying. Now from here, Etwal is going to activate its effect. I think Concerto Chainlink 2, it says if a fusion is sent to the graveyard while it's in the graveyard, even during damage set, that's cool. You can place it onto the bottom of the deck and then draw a card. So yeah, that's not a bad effect at all. And then this is going to resolve here to go ahead and summon a Melodious from the deck or extra deck, which means he can summon anything. So I think this is going to be Schuberta. And then once we'll face up on the field, you can target up to 3 cards in the graveyard to banish them. I mean, from here, I think I just go ahead and go for the Holly Suit, right? Because I can always go ahead and take the Schuberta. He does... Okay, now he's using his Pendulum Summon. So it looks like the 2 level 3 monsters that he summoned were just their inherent summons. I guess one thing that you should note is that you cannot just summon them like that off the bat at the same time. It has to be one at a time. So it should have been Sonata, and then it should have been the other Sonata. Because it's not an effect, right, that you could just like quickly just drop on the field. Now, from here, he tries to make SP Little Knight with the token. I let him know that Little Knight does have to be made with, effect monsters. So, it looks like, yeah, he tries to go battle. I go ahead and I go Holly Sue, activate its effect to special summon herself. And then, I don't think he has a response. So I summon Holly Sue. Holly Sue is going to go ahead and activate its effect to go ahead and summon from the deck. Now, the reason why I'm doing this here is so that I can threaten Schuberta. So I'm going to threaten Schuberta with either Raisin or Caesar. And it looks like it'll be Raisin. And I'm doing this so that my Lupus can essentially not be threatened. Because if he wants to use the effect, he would have to use it in response to my Raisin I'm sorry, not adding, but being blown up, right? And then I can summon out the Lupus here for free. So yeah, there he go. He's going to go ahead and grab his targets really quick as I try to add, targeting my Izuna, my Lupus, and my Raisin. And then I chain Lupus since he did activate a monster effect in the hand earlier. It was the couplet. Those other 2 get banished. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about what I'm going to add, but there really is no other answer other than Caesar Valius, right? So Caesar comes out onto my hand. From here, I'm going to go ahead and activate the Raisin effect, assuming he has no triggers. Reveal a fire and a dark to go ahead and blow up all the monsters in this column. So bye-bye, Schuberta. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and activate the Caesar. I believe I put back the Holly Suit if I am summoning it. Let's take our time here, I guess, and just inspect. Yep, token is in defense mode. And he might have conceded by here. Actually, we'll discover that here in just a moment. Yeah, he's still thinking. I don't have to use Lupus at all yet because I can do Lupus XC summon during any time on his turn. The only thing that is in the main phase only is the Lupus effect summon. Itself, not to XC summon. So yeah, from here I'm gonna go ahead and activate the effect of Caesar, targeting the Holly Sue, so that I could go ahead and return it to summon. And then I'm gonna go ahead and activate the effect of Caesar to go ahead and reveal 3 and pop his final Melodious monster, as well as chaining the Izuna here to summon. So it looks like I did have an Izuna. And I think from here, he is essentially wondering, can I win? Can I do anything? Yeah, my monsters come back in the end phase, so he's going to go ahead, summon, or not summon, but place back these 3. I believe the other one would go to the graveyard by game mechanics. I ask him, hey, you know, does this, you know, protect? Do these protect? No, the Sonata just give them attack. Arya gives attack as well, I believe, and then protects from battle and targeting. And then I go Caesar, non-target to destroy. And I think from there, he concedes the game. Let's just take some time to verify. And yeah, he scoops. So yeah, this time, unlike my previous video earlier this week, I actually have a dominant performance with Vanquish Soul. I drew a lot of gas. I drew everything I needed to win, and when Vanquish Soul draws like that, it's almost hard to lose. So thank you guys for watching. I know I yapped y'all's ear off a little bit, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. And if you guys want to participate in tournaments just like this, and you are in the DFW area, please head on over to Epik Cards and Games in Hurst, Texas, where Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh! Is hosted every Wednesday night, Friday night, and Saturday night at 7 p.m. Meta TCG is also hosting on Tuesday nights there in Arlington at 7 p.m. So if you're not there already, then you should be. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace and have a wonderful day.